Welcome to Infinite Presents Professional Perspectives, the web series where we speak with industry leaders about the latest trends, regulations, and happenings in the New York metropolitan area. This week's guest is Carlo Scissura. Thanks for being with us today, Carlo.
Thanks for having me on.
No problem. We're going to get into these questions. So, what's the outlook that you have on the short and long-term future of construction in New York City?
Well, look, it's been a tough year for all of us, but the New York Building Congress forecasts a pretty good year, actually. $55.5 billion in New York City construction spending in 2020. This number would match 2017's number, which back then was the highest number we've ever had in construction. So although it's down from last year we were at 60 billion. It's still one of the highest on record. So 2018 and 2019 were top years. 2017 was a great year, and we're back to 2017 numbers. Again, we're predicting 57 billion in 2021, but then about 56 billion in 22. But when you look at the 3 years, it's about $169 billion in spending. That would be amongst the three highest years of the history of New York. So the industry is working hard, and they're putting people back to work.
So you don't think we should be so worried right now?
Look, I think we need to be cautiously optimistic. We need to make sure that the federal government gives money to the city, the state, the MTA, the Port Authority, that we have a big infrastructure bill, that we all realize that how do you get out of a crisis in this country? You build. You create jobs, you create housing, office, cultural, infrastructure. So a lot of work to do.
That rolls right into our next question. With everything that's been happening over the past 6 months or so, how do we make our industry more resilient?
Yeah, I think, look, we're already one of the most resilient industries in the nation. Anytime there's been a crisis in this country, we've come back, we've roared back because of infrastructure. The New Deal, there's so many examples. I think what we need right now is a comprehensive nationwide building plan that will, just put direct funding in the hands of, like I said, the MTA and the Port Authority, and across the country, not just in New York, and really say it's time to rebuild this nation. It's time to make us the global leader in transportation and infrastructure, in mass transit, in green energy, and everything. So now's the time to do it. I think, look, on a local level, the governor has done a tremendous job. Governor Cuomo continues to push rebuilding New York. New York City has to fund the capital program. We have to build housing. We have to build schools. We have to repair our roads and everything. And then I think, look, we have to invest in people. We've had three big crises happen right in front of our eyes, right? We had the health crisis of COVID.
Yep.
We had, and so that was a shock. We had the economic crisis, right, of the recession post-COVID, also a big shock. But I got to tell you, the social, the societal, the racial issues should not be a shock to any of us. That's been going on forever. Maybe because we're on Twitter now and Instagram, we see it more or we pay attention more, but these are not new issues. To me, these are old issues, and shame on us for not addressing them sooner. So I think we have to invest in people. And how do we do that? We invest in hiring in communities of color. We invest in hiring and training young people that live in NYCHA. We provide more resources to schools. The industry, by the way, has done a great job. It's already grown. It's 64% of construction workers are men and women of color. So we've come a long way, but we got to engage the next generation, and we have to really focus on putting that energy in the future. And the future, honestly, should not look like me only. It should look like all of us, and that's critical.
Oh my God, I completely agree, Carlo. That's great. Just recently, have you noticed developers and owners trending more towards rehabbing existing structures versus constructing new buildings, or is that not a thing?
So, it's interesting. So our office is on 40th Street and 6th Avenue, Avenue of
Hmm.
the Americas. And if you walk just a little bit north of here, from like 42nd all the way down to Central Park, you will see a lot of buildings being rehabbed. So I think we want to continue to see interior construction happening and rehabilitation happen. But we also want new buildings. I mean, we want to see new housing, new affordable housing. We want to see new office. Obviously, New York is becoming more and more a tech center. So Facebook and Amazon and Google and Netflix, they all want to be in New York, and not just in Manhattan, by the way. They want to be in Brooklyn and Queens and the other boroughs as well. So I think we're going to see continued investment in the way we do. I think, look, um, if you talk to people, they're worried, but I think they forget that we're a resilient town and New York will always be the capital of the world. So we'll be a little worried for now. Let's get through the winter, and I think by the spring of next year, God willing, we'll see things move forward.
That's a lot of projections. It's talking spring
A lot
next
of
year.
projections,
A
yeah.
lot of projections. So I'm very hopeful.
Me too.
I'm hopeful.
I continue to be a glass half full type of person.
Yes, what we're gonna, and by spring it'll be a little bit more than full, half full.
I
So
agree. I agree. I agree.
this part is not work related. Let's
All
talk
right.
about you,
Fun.
Carlo.
Uh-oh.
Let's talk about you. Everybody's been home. We were quarantined for a while.
Yep.
People are getting out now. When I was home, I discovered some places that were nearby that I didn't know until I was forced to stay home.
Right.
While you were quarantined, did you discover any new places in your neighborhood, anything new that was going on, or something that's there that you just didn't realize?
It's interesting. So I live in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
I live in a neighborhood called Bay Ridge.
Okay.
It's southern Brooklyn, right near the Verrazano Bridge. And I obviously was quarantined there from March 13th, through the summer, really. So lots of months. And I went out every day. And every day I went to a different shop. I bought coffee. I shopped in local supermarkets. There's a gem of an Italian place called ALC that has great Italian products. There's a Middle Eastern place right near there where I would pick up pita bread and all these things. We ordered pizza. We got Chinese food. I went to get pastries at Villa Bati in Bensonhurst all the time. And I really just enjoyed walking around. I made sure I got out every day. And even if all I did was buy a loaf of bread or grab an espresso, I did something locally because I knew it was important. A lot of the restaurants by me were open. So places like a place called Cebu, which was amazing. Leo's Casa Calamari was amazing. I can go on, but there was just so much fun and excitement. And you know what? Then when things reopened, right, and things started slowly opening, it was a great summer of outdoor dining, and the fall with outdoor dining, and you felt like you were in Europe all summer in Bay Ridge. And I loved it, and I'm glad the mayor and the council have decided to keep it open all the time.
Oh man! Now, when everything opens back up for good, you're gonna see me in Bay Ridge.
And by the way, Mama Rayo's, great restaurant also.
Oh my goodness, Carlo! Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate your input.
My pleasure. And one other thing, I got to say, I perfected my meatball recipe while I was home. All these months.
The most important thing, Carlo, are you sharing the meatloaf recipe?
I will share my meatball recipe, I promise.
Thank you so much, Carlo.
Thanks. Have a great day.
You too. Until the next time.
Thank you. Look forward to it.
All righty.